Hello everyone, Ted Dill, Star Wars Nerd here. I hope you're doing well, and I want to thank you for joining me as we read some more Star Wars headlines. Alright, I've already got the Google thing pulled up here, so let's just get right to it, alright? So, Star Wars, the High Republic author, Justina Ireland bashes white men. Yeah, I heard about this the other day. She was complaining about people were complaining about her book because she was black. And I never knew she was even black before she brought it up. You know, I don't really go looking into the books that I read to see, oh, was this written by a black person? Better watch out. No, that don't work like that. Well, let's see what she's got to say. Bashes white men. Recently bashed white men leading up to the launch of the first wave of High Republic stories. Ireland had previously been announced as the author of the Star Wars The High Republic novel, A Test of Courage, that will follow the adventures of the Mary Sue character, Vernestra Rowe. Not only will she be writing A Test of Courage, but Star Wars and Lucasfilm also recently announced that Ireland will be writing Starlight stories that will appear in the Star Wars Insider magazine. Oh boy. That's just a dumb looking cover. This is just horrible artwork. She will be penning the young adult novel Out of the Shadows that will also follow Vernestra Rowe, the Padawan Wreath Silas, and Avon Staros. On January 3rd, Ireland took to Twitter where she wrote, I guess mediocre white men are still going to be on here bragging about their mediocrity as though it's hilarious anecdote instead of pure assholery. So thanks for establishing that baseline early, 2021. In a follow-up, she added, imagine writing a 20-tweet thread about outsmarting your 9-year-old. What a waste of perfectly good carbon. Yeah, I saw that. That was very stupid. That guy wrote that thing about his kid was hungry and wouldn't teach her how to open a can of beans. Whatever. Ireland's tweets are in reference to a number of tweets from podcast host John Roderick, where he detailed that he challenged his 9-year-old daughter to open a can of beans with a can opener. Yeah. He would eventually issue an apology, deactivate his Twitter account stating, my story about my daughter and the can of beans was poorly told. I didn't share how much laughing we were doing, how we had a bowl of pistachios between us all day as we worked on the problem, or that we'd both had a full breakfast together a few hours before. Her mother was in the room with us all day and alternately laughing at us and telling us to be quiet while she worked on her laptop. We all took turns on the jigsaw puzzle. He added, I framed the story with me as the asshole dad because that's my comedic persona and my fans and friends know it's a bit. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Yeah. So she's going on about people getting mad at her woke book. I'm not even gonna, who cares about all that? Like I say, I didn't even know she was black till she brought it up. You know? Come on. Alright, next, what George Lucas thinks of every Disney Star Wars movie. Yeah? Well, let's just say he didn't even show up for the premiere of Rise of Skywalker. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. 1977 Star Wars was a labor of love for George Lucas, with countless sources of inspiration from media that Lucas devoured as both a child and adult. Flash Gordon, Dune, and the films of Akira Kurosawa are well-known influences on the movie. Yeah, I still haven't watched that Hidden Fortress yet. I've got it. I went out and finally got it, but I just hadn't watched it yet. Okay, blah blah. The expanded universe turned the franchise into more than just a film series. Yep, and all those other good writers too. So, Lucas treated the Legends area non-movie materials inconsistently. Yeah, like they could go on and do their thing, but he was free to contradict it at any time if he made a movie, you know. He was not afraid of contradicting the expanded universe because he was telling his story, they were telling their stories. So he wasn't beholden to keeping them in his storylines. Okay, The Force Awakens. What did George say about The Force Awakens. I don't care about anybody else's thoughts. I'm here to read George's. Yeah, okay. Just prior to the global release, Kathy screened The Force Awakens for George. He didn't hide his disappointment. There's nothing new, he said. In each of the films in the original trilogy, it was important to him to present new worlds, new stories, new characters, new technologies. In this one, he said, there weren't enough visual or technical leaps forward. That's true. I remember when he was making the prequel trilogy, and that was one of the things that they were interviewing him, and he said he always tries to include at least 3 new planets or at least 3 new locations in the movies. I think that's what he said. Yeah, but it was something like that. He always tried to introduce new locations and new elements to the story, and he always used newer technology to help tell the things. I mean, hell, he made ILM, just to do his figure out how to do the special effects he wanted. He also provided Disney with story treatments for the sequel trilogy and was disappointed to learn that they were ignored. Yeah. So he didn't know about it till the movie came out? Nah, he knew before then. They looked at the stories and they said, we want to make something for the fans. They decided they didn't want to use those stories. They decided they were going to do their own thing. They weren't that keen to have me involved anyway. But if I get in there, I'm just going to cause trouble because they're not going to do what I want them to do, and I don't have the control to do that anymore. And all I would do is muck everything up. And so I said, okay, I will go my way, and I will let them go their way. Man, that had to hurt him. You can see the regret on his face in that interview when they announced that they sold it. I mean, you can see the regret in his face in that interview. Disney's second movie was another crowd pleaser, Rogue One. Yeah. Sold the story how the Death Star plans were stolen and captured in the spirit of 77 Star Wars. It was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't the best movie. That hallway scene at the end, of course, made up for everything, but it's not a bad story. It's not too bad. They didn't get too much wrong with it. Okay. 2 days ago, we got to show George the movie, and we all had a phone call, and I got to speak with him yesterday. And I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I can honestly say that I can die happy now. He really liked the movie. It meant a lot. To be honest, and no offense to anyone here, it was the most important review to me. You know, you guys are important too, but he's kind of God. I will take that conversation to my grave. His opinion means the world to me. Who's that who's talking? Oh, that's Gareth Edwards, the movie's director. That's good. That's good. While Lucas's specific thoughts on Rogue One are unknown, it can be assumed that the film's visual narrative and originality and the way it's seamlessly tied into Star Wars won him over. The Last Jedi. Alright. While The Force Awakens and Rogue One united viewers, regardless of the age and investment in the franchise, Star Wars The Last Jedi was a divisive entry, to say the least. There are no quotes directly from Lucas regarding it, but one of his representatives, Connie Wethington, said that Lucas thought The Last Jedi was beautifully made. Yeah, that's the only thing I ever heard him say too. Beautifully made. He wouldn't say anything else about it. I mean, yeah, it is a beautiful movie. The visuals in it are awesome. But the story is just shit. Anyway, Solo, a Star Wars story. Yep, everybody knows about Star Wars. Solo, a Star Wars story. George Lucas was really supportive of it. He doesn't get down in the weeds on the movies anymore, Howard said. He did come by and visit the set, which is a pretty rare thing, but he did it as a show of support, which was really cool. And he was really complimentary. But he was also really confident when I came in that I would get the feel of it and understand how to maximize the entertainment value of these characters and this world. So George was confident the guy would figure it out, but yeah, I wasn't that impressed with Solo. It wasn't that bad, but it really didn't need to be made. Or at least not made like that. The Rise of Skywalker. Oh boy. The crap movie everybody craps on. Did George say anything about it? Lucas's thoughts on the final Disney Star Wars movies are unknown. Yeah, I didn't hear a word. But he was absent from the film's premiere. Yeah, I said that. This may indicate either negative feelings toward the movie or indifference. I think it was negative feelings because the way they just crapped all over everything. Yep. So, like many of us, George Lucas he likes Rogue One but hates the others. All right. What you didn't know about the Nissan Rogue One Star Wars Limited Edition, and nobody cares. Star Wars Infinity's how could Leia have been turned to the Sith? Well, how could Leia have been turned to the Sith? The dark side of the Force can be a tempting power for even the most resilient of heroes, with one version of the Star Wars saga even resulting in one of the rebellion's greatest heroes embracing her anger and rage. What happened in Star Wars Infinity's A New Hope by Chris Warner, Drew Johnson, Ray Snyder, Al Rio, Neil Nelson, Steve Dutro, and Dave McCaig. And how did it introduce a version of Leia who actually joined the Empire and became a warrior of the Sith? Why do they need so many people to write one book? Unless it's a book of stories, which it doesn't say it is. Does it? Yeah, it doesn't say it's a book of stories. That's a neat picture. That is a neat picture. But, yeah. The climactic moment of Star Wars is Luke Skywalker successfully clearing a trench run on the Death Star and deploying 2 proton torpedoes into the core of the space station, wiping it out and giving the rebellion a chance to bring peace to the galaxy. But in one timeline, one of the torpedoes detonates short of the reactor. While this does damage the Death Star's core and prevents it from firing a full-power blast at the Rebel base on Yavin 4, it means the Empire is able to easily overwhelm the Rebels. Luke, R2, Han, and Chewbacca are able to escape in their own ships. The rest of the Rebels are captured and Yavin 4 is destroyed. Luke initially lashes out in anger over his belief Leia is dead, but Obi-Wan's spirit warns him of embracing the dark side. You know, one thing I always thought would be funny would be, because, Vader lived at the end of Star Wars, and he was by himself in his ship, and we've seen Vader take out entire bases before in other canon books and material. What if Vader would have just landed on Yavin 4 and walked into the, the ceremony, the award ceremony, while they're giving away the awards and just started wiping everybody out? I've said that before somewhere a few times, but yeah, it'd be hilarious. I'd love to see that, like a Robot Chicken episode is what I keep saying. That'd be great. Just Vader coming in, dun, 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 and just wiping everybody out. Oh. Or how it should have ended like that. That would be cool. Anyway, Obi-Wan's spirit tells Luke to go to Dagobah early, allowing him to spend more time training with Yoda instead of helping the fledgling rebellion. Yep. Han and Chewie return to their rough and tumble lives, staying ahead of the Empire when possible, but Vader also takes a captive Leia under his wing, training her to harness her rage and use it in battle, even giving her Obi-Wan's old lightsaber as a weapon. Vader convinces her to become his apprentice so the pair of them can one day replace the Emperor and take their place as the true rulers of the galaxy. Yeah. But the thing is, at that time period, Vader didn't know Leia was his daughter. So why would he want to keep her and train her if he didn't know who she was and she had power in the Force? Because if you would have found Leia just wandering along, you wouldn't think has potential to be a Jedi, because they brought him, they got him when they were young. He wouldn't have even looked twice at Leia thinking he could train her. There's no way. That would never happen. Cool to think about, but would never happen. Eventually, informed of the true connection he shares with Vader and Leia, Luke decides to confront the pair of them, recruiting Yoda, Han, and Chewie to his cause. Meanwhile, Leia is revealed to be a deadly apprentice for Vader. The same resolve that would make her a dependable leader in the core Star Wars timeline is twisted here, giving her ambition and ruthless nature. She's eventually given her own red lightsaber, signaling her true descent into the Sith. Why would she be given one? She should make her own and go bleed the crystal, like they say. Which I'm not too thrilled about the whole bleeding thing, but, you know, whatever. However, she and Vader remain unaware of their shared lineage. Oh, he doesn't know still. At least until Luke arrives on Coruscant and confronts them. Revealing the truth, Luke still initially has to fight Leia in a lightsaber duel. However, the truth eventually convinces her to side with Luke and convinces Vader to attack the Emperor so they can escape. Nah. Yeah. I just don't see why Vader would have picked her out and decided to train her. He couldn't sense the Force in her. Otherwise, he would have kept her when he had her on the Death Star and was interrogating her. So he couldn't sense that she had the Force, or was powerful in the Force, or she could use it. He couldn't sense that she needed training. So why would he save her and take her away? Yeah. Oh well, whatever. It's a comic, it was a what if. Alright, so this ultimately in the end, even in the world where Leia fell to the dark side, her friends and family proved strong enough to pull her back from the brink. While the Emperor is killed and the Empire is hindered by Yoda flying the Death Star into the planet, sacrificing himself in the process, this allows the Skywalker line to continue and help shape the galaxy into a better future, with Leia even become the Chancellor of the new Galactic Republic. It's still startling to see a version of Princess Leia who didn't become the heroic general, but took the darker lessons of her father's experiences to heart. Vader appealing to her desire to help the galaxy makes it all the more nefarious, giving Leia a fitting reason to turn her back on the rebellion and believe that all it did was cause chaos and death. It's a good thing that even in this timeline, Darth Vader realized the error of his ways. Otherwise, it may have been a galaxy that Leia would have one day commanded with an iron fist. What happens to her? Oh, okay. Luke convinced her to turn against Vader. So, yeah. Anyway, well, that's neat. That's cool. That'd be neat to see. I'd love to see something like that. Maybe I should find that comic and read it. What comic was that? Star Wars Infinity's A New Hope. When was that made? Oh, here you go. 10 things Obi-Wan did between episodes 3 and 4. Well, we'll see it in the Obi-Wan series. No, that doesn't give me anything. It doesn't tell me anything. Oh, well. Okay. Next! Prices soar after the return of Boba Fett for Star Wars number 42. Oh, the comic. 1980? Did I see that right? Yeah. And now, the Bounty Hunters. That looks familiar. No, I don't think I had that one. I've got others. I don't have that one. Should come number 42 on the first appearance of Boba Fett and cameos of Palpatine, Dingar, Boss, IG-88, and Zuckuss. Part 4, the 6-part Empire Strikes Back. So, still part of the middle of it, so I guess they expand a little bit on them, which is always cool to see. He's already making arrangements with that rebel on the bridge. There will be a substantial reward for the one that finds the Millennium Falcon. You and your band are highly regarded in your particular trade, Boba Fett. Do not disappoint me. Given a free hand, I've never disappointed anyone, except those who hope to escape me. See, look at that artwork. That looks so much better than that High Republic stuff. And that's just 3 people. That's just 3 characters, and that looks so much better than that High Republic stuff. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I don't think number 42. I don't have 42. I was just going through these not too long ago, so these are all the comics I have left. Oop. Good. These are the comics I have left. I've got 63, 53, 52, 51, Oh, and I've even got 49, The Last Jedi. I got a video on that. If you want to go see it, I read the whole thing. Go find that video. The Third Law, number 48. And then I skipped to 27. 26. That's my favorite right there. That's my favorite cover of R2. That's a good cover. That's cool. 14. 13. Master Luke, this time we don't dare let the Wookiee win. This one's pretty cool too. I've always wondered who that little rabbit guy was. I want to see a movie about the rabbit guy there. I'm going to have to open up this book and find out who that is. I want to see a movie on that rabbit guy. And look, you can. Who's this guy in the back with the red lightsaber? And then some lady down there. Some robot on treads. Little hairy guy looks like he stole Calrissian's cloak. Anyway, nobody cares. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Next. Take a look at the Rise of Skywalker's concept of Coruscant. If fans were to be polled on their favorite Star Wars planet, Coruscant would likely be near the top. It is a cool planet. I don't really care about the Rise of Skywalker. I do like Coruscant, so let's see what their artwork would look like. Why bring Coruscant back? Why not? It's the damn center of the galaxy, the capital. I mean, gee, I don't know. Why would you want to show the capital of the galaxy? So, they're not going to show us any of the concept art for Coruscant? Take a look at the Rise of the Skywalker's concept of Coruscant. I'm looking. Oh. This? What the heck is that? He can't see anything. Who knows what that's supposed to be? So I'm very disappointed. Anyway, Kevin Feige taps Rick and Morty writer for a Star Wars movie. I heard about this today. I didn't know the guy was from Rick and Morty. But yeah, I did hear about this guy getting the job to write the Kevin Feige's upcoming Star Wars movie. Michael Waldron has been tapped to pen the script. Waldron's fresh from helming the upcoming Disney Plus Loki series as creator. Cool. So they're bringing him from the Marvel universe where they hadn't screwed up everything yet. But I think they may be on track for. I don't know. It's just rumors I hear. So he's a head writer and executive producer. Marvel and Disney are fans of his work. He wrote Doctor Strange sequel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Another project we can't watch yet. It comes out in March 25th, 2022. Damn, another year to go to another Doctor Strange movie. What happened to Marvel? They were going strong with putting out like 2 or 3 movies a year. Then Infinity War and Endgame came out and it's like, boop, just stopped. I thought they had plans that after that, they had the Spider-Man movie come out, and then all the crap that happened with Spider-Man, but I think they finally got that under control and they're making another one. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, they were doing all good. All these Marvel movies were coming out, and then it just stopped. But I thought they were going to, continue on with a whole new group of people, bring in some different superheroes and have a different Avengers team. Maybe keep Black Widow and, or not Black Widow, she died. Spoilers. And Hawkeye. Keep Hawkeye and whatever and make a new Avengers. But I thought that's what they were going to do. But I guess not. I mean, they could have made more movies after that. They could have pumped out a couple of Hawkeye movies. They could have done a Hulk movie if Ruffalo was into it. And they could have introduced some new characters, brought up some old, unknown. Either way, whatever. We're not here for Marvel. We're not here for Marvel. We're here for Rick and Morty. I mean, Star Wars. Well, that's cool. Star Wars Vintage Collection Baby Yoda could join the Mandalorian's Razor Crest set. Yeah, you're going to go give money to the Razor Crest after it got blown up. Oh, my. Okay. Every canceled EA Star Wars game explained. So there was 3. I think I did the story on them last night in the list of all the EA games, or all the, Star Wars games. And there was 1313 was the only one really. I can't remember. I don't know. So let's just see. So, Uncharted. Oh, this is, I heard about this one. That lady that made Uncharted. Yuma. Visceral. Just after release of Dead Space 3, Visceral started development on a project called Jamaica, which was intended to be an open-world pirate game. Development on that project would shift dramatically after Disney shut down LucasArts, and EA formed its massive year-long deal for Star Wars rights. To take advantage of the new deal, EA turned Jamaica into Project Yuma, a new Star Wars game. Despite being changed to Star Wars, general theme of the game was remained, however. Yuma was going to be about space pirates, with players assuming the role of a character very similar to Han Solo. The nail in the coffin for Yuma was actually Battlefield Hardline. As Hardline's development started suffering, members of Visceral's Yuma team were forced to help out. Lack of development time, along with low morale at the studio, ultimately resulted in Project Yuma being scrapped. On top of all this, Amy Hennig had a different project in mind for Star Wars, which resulted in Visceral scrapping Yuma in favor of Project Ragtag. Project Ragtag is probably the most famous EA canceled Star Wars projects, as the game was originally headed by Visceral Studios and Amy Hennig, creator of Uncharted series. Project sounded surprisingly similar to Star Wars 1313, with players diving into the criminal underground of the Star Wars universe. Ragtag was going to be a third-person action game with massive set pieces, which sounds surprisingly similar to Uncharted. One segment detailed by Visceral Games producer Zach Mumbach had players fleeing from an AT-ST on foot with the Frostbite engine's destruction capabilities on full display. That'd be cool. I'd take that. But now if they're going to do this Underworld, is it just the criminal underworld? Okay, so it doesn't say Coruscant's criminal underworld. Because I always think of Coruscant and all them. Black Sun. Okay, so cool. Cool. Would have been like 1313. Yeah, they could do a movie like that still with doing Boba Fett as he's the new crime lord, you know. It was set between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Planned on creating a crew of misfits for a player to control. It was too ambitious, and that's ultimately what led to the project's downfall. Kotaku has an extensive report on the development of Ragtag. Yeah, I think I read that. Maybe not. Maybe I read something like that. I did read an article on 1313. Project Orca is the third line of cancellation that was formed from the closure of Visceral and Project Ragtag. EA Vancouver was helping Visceral on the project, and after the latter was closed, Vancouver took over the project, turned it into something different. Orca still retained the scoundrel theme, but turned it into an open-world game that would see players exploring multiple planets. Cool, bring it. Outside of simply announcing the project, EA never shared any information on Project Orca. Right up until its reported cancellation in 2019, it's not entirely clear why Project Orca was canceled, especially since EA Vancouver wasn't closed, but EA likely shifted the studio onto a new project in some capacity. With the end of Project Orca, it seems abundantly clear that after changing studios 3 times, this project would never see the light of day. That's especially true with EA's focus shifting onto Respawn's game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Ooh, Project Viking, Battlefront spinoff. A Battlefront spinoff EA reportedly had in development for a short time, although there aren't many details on Viking. It reportedly started from the cancellation of Project Orca to salvage some of the assets that were already created. Seems like the major issue with the project was that EA simply wanted to churn it out too quickly, and developers Criterion and EA Vancouver realized they simply couldn't deliver in the timeline the company wanted. Viking is the final canceled EA Star Wars game that's known about, but it's perfectly possible there were more projects in development at some point in time. EA Star Wars license is in effect until 2023, at which point Disney will decide which direction to take the franchise in video games. So 2 more years, people. 2 more years, and we can get away from EA, hopefully. So we got 2 years for some software company to make a name for themselves and to get the EA, Star Wars franchise. So any of you small indie software companies out there working on a game that's going to be published in the next year or two, make it good. And maybe Lucasfilm will select you. Okay, is Star Wars a superhero story? Is it a superhero story? No. Well, I mean, they do have superpowers. I mean, you could say the Force is a superpower. It's telekinesis, basically. Now, let's see what they say. Oh, jeez, that's... Yeah. When A New Hope debuted, it was a year before Superman the movie, but in 2021, fans are so inundated with superhero films that comparison goes without saying. Jedi may not be wearing capes or masks as they use their powers to fight the forces of evil, but it's hard to say they're not superheroes. Yeah. I'd have to go with, yeah, Jedi are superheroes, because, I mean, you see them, a full-powered Jedi can just take out so many people. A Star Wars meets Predator fan film featuring Bosk? Oh. Well, that would be cool. Oh, man. How long is it? How long is it? Oh, it's 16 minutes. No, I'm not watching that. So if anybody wants to watch this, it's 16 minutes. Maybe I should do a video on it tomorrow night. Let's see. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm going to have to bookmark that. I'm going to take this. Yeah. I'm going to save that shortcut. I'm going to come back and watch that. That looks interesting. Okay. Well, I'll do more on it later. Alright, and that is the last of that. Yep. So, and I've got one more story that I saw that needed to be thrown in here. New Star Wars book confirms Yoda and R2D2 fan theory. Alright, Star Wars continuity is a little bit more complex than other fictional universes. Yeah, it's messed up. The gap between Phantom Menace and the rise of Skywalker is just 67 years. Within that time, both the Empire and the First Order rise and fall. There are 2 massive galaxy-spanning conflicts, and practically every piece of canon Star Wars media takes place. Okay. Lucasfilm famously had a dedicated story group devoted to untangling all this, but some things still slip through the cracks. Like, well, everything in the Disney trilogy. One common problem is that characters who appear in both the original and the prequel trilogies don't acknowledge that they've previously met C-3PO and R2-D2. Now, the actual reason is because George Lucas hadn't planned out the exact details of the prequels in the early 1980s, but that obviously doesn't apply in universe. Now, I was thinking about this the other day. I said it to somebody. I might have been, I forget where it was, but I said in some video that I was wondering why Yoda and R2 didn't recognize each other on Dagobah. I mean, they've got history. They should have. R2 should have gone, yeah, oh yeah, he's Yoda. He's not some weird guy. This is Yoda. But I guess even if he would have, Luke wouldn't have been able to understand him because Luke, unlike some people, just doesn't automatically understand droid. He had to have his a computer to interpret for him. Anyway, here's how the passage in question reads. Okay, the new book, from a certain point of view, Empire Strikes Back, has answered at least one of the problems, though. Depicts the events of Empire Strikes Back from unusual perspectives, with Jim Zub's The First Lesson proving that Yoda did indeed recognize R2-D2 when he arrived on Dagobah with Luke, as fans had theorized. Here's how the passage in question reads. Carefully moving through the swamp, while staying beneath the fog, Yoda soon spotted the boy and his droid unpacking their supplies. Even though the droid was caked with algae, dirt, and stomach fluid, its appearance and familiar blips were still quite recognizable. R2-D2. Of course the boy had Anakin's old droid with him. Such cycles of fate no longer surprise the 900-year-old Jedi. And there you have it. While it's nice that this has been cleared up, I would have also been happy with the hand wave that there are a lot of protocol and astromech droids out there in the galaxy, far, far away. And that as they're all nearly identical, it's tough to tell them apart. In any case, just because Skywalker saga is wrapped, that doesn't mean 3PO and R2 are gone for good. Yep, got a droid story coming out soon. I'm actually looking forward to that. That's one of those ones I was really looking forward to, just because I've done the cartoons for the old droids cartoons. If you haven't seen those videos of mine, go check them out, those old droids cartoons. There's only 10 of them. Yeah, 10 of them, so it doesn't take long to go through. I think there might have been 13 or 12. There's around 10. Go watch them, and they're not long. And you get to watch them with me. But, yeah, no word on if it'll land. Yep. Or if Anthony Daniels will reprise C-3PO. Anthony Daniels has always done the voice of C-3PO in just about everything you can imagine. He's always gone out of his way to do audiobooks, cartoons, commercials, anything. Which I think is awesome. But I think he also just wants control of C-3PO. He's very protective. Well, that's a cool 40th anniversary poster. Oh, okay. It's all the different languages. Oh, that's neat. Okay, but so Yoda recognizes R2. Why doesn't R2 recognize Yoda? That is really the question. Yeah, you could hand wave away Yoda not recognizing R2 because, yeah, there's so many astromech droids out there. Who knows? That could be the same one or not. But there's not that many Yodas out there. So R2 would have definitely gone, oh, hey, that's Yoda. That's the guy you're looking for. But, you know, what do I know, I guess. Anyway, I don't mind it. It's not that big a deal. Doesn't break it for me. So, there you have it. There you have it. That's the Star Wars news for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. That's fun. You always learn a little bit more going through the news. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just looking at the headlines. George Lucas thinks of every Disney Star Wars movie. Yeah, we did that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment below. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications. I am Ted, the old Star Wars nerd, and I really appreciate you checking out this video. Thanks again, and please come back. Take care.